destroyed some of the best runners in the world today in this 31st
ከውድቀት ለመነሳት መጥፎ ከሚባለው አዘቅታችሁ ለመመለስ እናንተ ምን ያህል ጊዜ ይፈጅባችኋል? ይህ የወድቆ መነሳት የጽናትና አልበገር ባይነት ታሪክ ነው። እንዲህ ሆነ በሞሮኮ ራባት 2019 በአፍሪካ ጨዋታዎች የ10000 ሜትር ውድድር የ19 ዓመቱ ኢትዮጵያዊ አትሌት ብርሃኑ ጸጉ የወርቅ ሜዳሊያን አጠለቀ። ሀገሩም እጅግ ኮራችበት። ግን ይህ ብዙ አልቆየም። መስከረም ወር ላይ የዓለም አቀፉ የአትሌቲክስ ንጽህና ቁጥጥር አካል ይህ አትሌት ዶፒንግ ተጠቅሟልና አግደዋለሁ አለ። የወርቅ ሜዳሊያውን ነጠቀው። ለ4 ዓመታት እጅግ ከሚወደውና ከሚችለው ውድድር እንዲገለል ተወሰነበት። ለ19 ዓመት ልጅ ገና በውድድር ብዙ ላልጠና ደግሞ ልምድም ለሌለው ህሊናውን እጅግ ሊጎዳ የሚችል መጥፎ ቅጣት ተላለፈበት። አሁን ግን ያ ሁሉ አልፎ ታላቅ ከሚባሉ አትሌቶች ተርታ ለመሰለፍ በማራቶን ኤሊት ተብሎ ሊጠራ ብርሃኑ ጸጉ ግድ ብሎታል። በ2026 በፕራግ ማራቶን ያደረገውም ወድቆ መነሳት እንደሚቻል ደግሞ ከገቡበት አዘቅት ውስጥ መመለስ እንደሚቻል ምሳሌ ሆኗል። የተወደዳችሁ የሸጋ ስፖርት ተከታታዮች ይህ የወድቆ መነሳት ታሪክ ነው። ላይክ፣ ሼር፣ ኮሜንት በማድረግ ይህንን አስገራሚ ታሪክ ለብዙዎች እንዲዳረስ አግዙን። ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰባችን ሆኑ። መስከረም 15 2019 በፈረንጆቹ አቆጣጠር የኮፐንሃገን ግማሽ ማራቶን ተደረገ እና በዚህ ውድድር ድንገተኛ የደምና የሽንት ናሙና ለአትሌቶች ተሰጣቸው። ደም ለማጎልበትና የሰውነትን የጽናት አቅም ለመጨመር የሚያገለግለውን EPO የተባለ ንጥረ ነገር ብርሃኑ ተጠቅሟል ሲል ውጤቱ አመላከተ። በወቅቱ የአትሌቲክስ ንጽህና ቁጥጥር አካል በአትሌቱ ላይ ምርመራ መጀመሩን ተከትሎ ጥቅምት 2019 በጊዜያዊነት አግዶት ነበር። መጀመሪያ ላይ ክሱን ለመከላከል ሞከረ። ይሁን እንጂ ውንጀላውን ውድቅ ለማድረግ ያደረገው ጥረት ሳይሳካ ቀርቶ በመጨረሻም የጸረ ዶፒንግ ደንብ መጣሱን በማመኑ የዓለም አቀፉ አትሌቲክስ ፌዴሬሽን የ4 ዓመት ይፋዊ ገዳ ጣለበት። በዚህ ምክንያት አትሌቱ ያስመዘገባቸው በርካታ ስኬቶች የተሰረዙ ሲሆኑ በተለይም በአፍሪካ ጨዋታዎች ላይ ያገኘው ለሀገሩ ያመጣው የወርቅ ሜዳሊያ እንዲነጠቅ ተደረገ። የፕራግ ከተማ ጎዳናዎች ነገስታትን፣ አብዮቶችን፣ ጦርነትና ብዙ ሺህ ዓመታትን ያሰፈሩ ታሪኮችን አይተዋል። ነገር ግን በ2026 ግንቦት 3 ጠዋት ላይ በቼክ ሪፐብሊክ ዋና ከተማ ፕራግ ሌላ ታሪክ ተጻፈ። የመንግስታት ወይም የፖለቲካ ታሪክ አልነበረም። የመመለስ የመታገልና ራስን እንደገና የማረጋገጥ ታሪክ ነበረ። በጠዋቱ ልክ 2 ሰዓት ሲል በጣም በርካታ ሺህ ሯጮች ለ31 አንደኛው ቮዳፎን ፕራግ ማራቶን ከኦልድ ታውን ስኩዌር ተነሱ። የሯጮቹ የጫማ ድምጽ በድንጋይ መንገዶች ላይ የተንጫጫ ነበር። የቮልታቫ ወንዝ የጧቱን ፀሐይ ያንጸባርቃል። ከፍ ያሉ የቤተክርስቲያን ግንቦች ዝም ብለው ውድድሩን እየተመለከቱ ያሉ ይመስሉ ነበር እና በመሪዎቹ ቡድን መካከል በስፖርቱ ውስጥ ከባዱን ታሪክ ተሸክሞ የሚሮጥ አንድ ኢትዮጵያዊ አለ፣ ብርሃኑ ጸጉ። እሱ ለድል ብቻ አልነበረም የሚሮጠው፣ ካለፈው ጋር እየተወዳደረ ነበር። ከስሙ ጋር እየታገለ ነበር። ስራውን ላይ ያጠፋ ከተቃረበበት ጥላ ጋር እየተጋፈጠ ነበር። 2 ሰዓት 05:51 በሆነ ሰዓት ፍጻሜውን ሲያቋርጥ 42 ኪሎ ሜትሮቹን ከርሱ ቀድሞ የጨረሰ ማንም አልነበረም። በዘመናዊ አትሌቲክስ ውስጥ በጣም ውስብስብ ከሆኑ የመመለሻ ታሪኮች አንዱን አጠናቆ እንካቹ አለ። ፕራግ ማራቶን እንደ በርሊን ወይንም ቫሌንሲያ ያሉ ፈጣን ኮርሶችን የተላበሰ አይደለም። ፕራግ መጀመሪያ ያማልላል፣ ከዚያ ግን አትሌቶቹን ይቀጣል። ኮርሱ በመካከለኛ ዘመን ጎዳናዎች፣ በጎቲክ ቤተክርስቲያኖች፣ በታሪካዊ ድልድዮችና በቮልታቭ ወንዝ አጠገብ ያልፋል። በዓለም ላይ ካሉ እጅግ ውብ የማራቶን ኮርሶች አንዱ ነው፣ ግን ውበቱ አደጋን ደቅኖ ይዟል። የድንጋይ መንገዶቹ ኮብልስቶን፣ ብዙ መጠማዘዞችና የማይታመን የጸደይ አየር ሙቀቱ ሲጨምር ፕራግ ፕራግ ለማራቶን ሯጮች ጨካኝ ትሆናለች። በ2026 የነበረው ውድድር ግን በፍጥነት ተጀመረ። ከመጠን በላይ ፈጣን ነበረ። መሪዎቹ በኮርስ ሪከርድ ፍጥነት እየሄዱ መሆናቸው ተሰማ። የፕራግ ታሪካዊ ማዕከልን እያለፉ ሲሄዱ ተመልካቾች ጎዳናዎቹን ሞልተው ነበረ። በመሪዎች ቡድን ውስጥ ከምስራቅ አፍሪካ የመጡ ኃያላን ሯጮች ተካተዋል። ፌሊክስ ኪፕኮች፣ ጁስቲስ ኪፕሪስ ሊሞ፣ ባርሲሊየስ ኪፒዮን፣ አንዱዓለም በላይና ብርሃኑ ጸጉ። ግን ብርሃኑ የሚያደርገው ውድድር ከሌሎች የተለየ ነበረ። እርሱ በአእምሮ ውስጥ ከታሪክ ጋር እየተወዳደረ ነበረ። የዶፒንግ ቅሌቱ ከመከሰቱ በፊት በኢትዮጵያ ከሚወጡ ታላላቅ ተስፋዎች አንዱ ነበረ። በፈረንጆቹ አቆጣጠር 1999 ተወለደ። እንደነ ኃይሌ ገብረስላሴ፣ ቀነኒሳ በቀለ፣ ጥሩነሽ ዲባባ ያሉ ታላላቅ ሯጮችን ባፈራችው ከፍተኛ ቦታ በሚገኘው የኢትዮጵያ የልምምድ አካባቢ ነበር ያደገው። እንደ ብዙ ኢትዮጵያውያን ሯጮች ስለ ሕፃንነቱ ዝርዝር መረጃን ማግኘት አይቻልም፣ ግን የስልጠናው መንገድ የታወቀ ነበረ። ከፍተኛ ቦታ፣ ረጅም ኪሎ ሜትሮች፣ ተራራማ መንገዶች፣ የማይቋረጥ የኤሮቢክስ ስልጠና። በ2018 ዓለም አትሌቲክስ እሱን መመልከት ጀመረ። 18 ዓመቱ እያለ በፈረንሳይ የተካሄደ ኮሪዳ ዴ ሂዩስ 10 ኪሎ ሜትር ውድድርን ሁለተኛ ሆኖ አጠናቀቀ። 27 ከ36 የገባበት ሰዓት ነበረ። የአውሮፓ ኮከብ ጁሊየን ዋርደን ብቻ እርሱን ቀድሞት ገባ። ይህ ውጤት በውስጡ ምን ያህል ታላቅ ችሎታ እንዳለ አስመሰከረ። ሩጫው የተረጋጋ ነበረ። አካሄዱ ቀላል ይመስል ነበር። ፍጥነቱን በደንብ ይቆጣጠራል። አሰልጣኞች ወዲያውኑ ተመለከቱት። ይህ ልጅ ልዩ ነው ብለው መሰከሩ። 2019 የብርሃኑ የህይወት አቅጣጫ ሁሉ የተቀየረበት ዓመት ሆነ። በቻይና ያንግዡ ግማሽ ማራቶንን 59:56 ገብቶ አሸነፈ። 19 ዓመቱ ላይ ከአንድ ሰዓት በታች ግማሽ ማራቶንን መሮጥ የቻለ የዓለማችን ድንቁ ተስፋ ተብሎ ተጠራ። ከዚያም ራባት መጣ። በ2019 የአፍሪካ ጨዋታዎች 10,000 ሜትርን በወርቅ አጠናቀቀ። በመጨረሻው ዙር በኃይል ተነስቶ የኤርትራውን አሮን ክፍሌን አሸነፈ። በዚያ ቀን ብርሃኑ የአፍሪካ ሻምፒዮን ሆነ። ዓለም እሱን መከታተል ጀመረ። ነገር ግን ሁሉም ነገር በፍጥነት ተተረማመሰ። ውድቀቱ 2019 ሴፕቴምበር ወር ላይ ይጀምራል። በኮፐንሃገን ግማሽ ማራቶን ተወዳደረ። ከውድድሩ በኋላ የዶፒንግ ምርመራው ኢፒኦ መጠቀሙን አሳየ። ይህ በረጅም ርቀት ሩጫ ውስጥ በጣም የተፈራ የአፈጻጸም አሻሻይ መድኃኒት እንደሆነ ይታወቃል። ከዚያም የ4 ዓመት እገዳ ተጣለበት። ውጤቶቹ ተሰረዙ። ሽልማቶቹ ተወሰዱ። የአትሌቱ ስምም ቢሆን እጅጉኑ ጠለሸ እና በጣም ከባዱ ነገር ስሙ ከዶፒንግ ጋር ተያያዘ። በ2020 በመጨረሻ ጥፋቱን አምኖ ቅጣቱን ተቀበለ። በዚያ ቀን የኢትዮጵያ ታላቅ ተስፋ ከዓለም አትሌቲክስ መዝገብ ላይ እንዲሰረዝ ተገደደ። ለ4 ዓመታት ይህ ሆነ። በአትሌቲክስ 4 ዓመት ብዙ ነው። ስራዎች ይጠፋሉ፣ ሰዎች ይረሳሉ፣ አዳዲስ ተስፋዎች ይወጣሉ። በተለይ በኢትዮጵያ በየዓመቱ አዳዲስ ችሎታዎች ይወጣሉ። በ2023 እገዳው ሲያበቃ የዓለም አትሌቲክስ ተቀያይሮ ጠበቀው። የማራቶን ፍጥነቶች እጅግ ፈጥነው ነበረ። አዳዲስ ኮከቦችም ወጥተዋል እና ብርሃኑ ከዜሮ መጀመር ነበረበት። በ2024 በስፔን ሳንታ ፖላ ግማሽ ማራቶን ሁለተኛ ሆነ። ከዚያ በቤልግሬድ ወርልድ ክሮስ ካንትሪ ቻምፒየንሺፕ 19ኛ ሆኖ የኢትዮጵያን ቡድን ለነሐስ ሜዳሊያ ረዳ። ወርቅ አልነበረም፣ ግን አንድ ነገር ግልጽ ሆነ። ብርሃኑ ተመልሷል። ዱባይ 2025 ማራቶን የመጀመሪያ የማራቶን ውድድሩን ሮጠ። ዓለምን አስደነቀ። 2:05:14 ገብቶ ሁለተኛ ሆኖ አጠናቀቀ። ለመጀመሪያ ማራቶኑ እጅግ አስፈሪ የሚባል ውጤት ነበረ። የተረሳው ሯጭ እንደገና አደገኛ ሆኖ ተመለሰ። ከዚያ በሊል የግማሽ ማራቶን 1:00:11 ገብቶ አሸነፈ። ያኔ ሰዎቹ ገብቷቸዋል። አዎ ብርሃኑ ተመልሷል። ፕራግ 2026 ለብርሃኑ ቀጣዩ ትልቁ ፈተና ነበረ። የመጀመሪያው ፍጥነት ከፍ ያለ ነበረ ከመጠን በላይ። ነገር ግን ማራቶን ትዕግስትን ይፈልጋል። ሙቀቱ ሲጨምር፣ ሯጮቹ መድከም ሲጀምሩ፣ እግሮቻቸው ሲከብዳቸው፣ አተነፋፈሳቸውም ሲቀየር ከፍጻሜው 5 ኪሎ ሜትር በፊት ብርሃኑ ፍጥነቱን በመጨመር ጥቃት ሰነዘረ። ከኬንያዊው ጁስቲስ ሊሞ ተለይቶ ለብቻው ተስፈነጠረ። ከዚያ በኋላ ወደ ኋላ አልተመለሰም። የመጨረሻው ኪሎ ሜትሮች የፕራግ ታሪካዊ ጎዳናዎች ወደ ፍጻሜ ሲዳረሱ ብርሃኑ ብቻውን ይሮጥባቸው ነበረ። ምንም ምንም ትልቅ ደስታ አልነበረም። ምንም አስገራሚ ምልክት አልነበረም። ትኩረት ብቻ። ሰዓቱ 2:05:51 ሲያሳይ ፍጻሜውን አደረገ። አሸናፊ ሆነ። ከኋላው 2:07:45 እና አንዱዓለም በላይ 2:07:59 ገብተው ሁለተኛና ሶስተኛ ሆነው አጠናቀቁ።
የዩቲዩብ ተከታታዮች ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰብ መሆን እንዳትዘነጉ። ላይክ እና ሼር በማድረግ ለሌሎች እንዲዳረስም አድርጉ።
ብርሃኑ ፕራግን አሸነፈ። ይህ ከማራቶን ድል በላይ ነበረ። ይህ አዲስ ታሪካዊ ክስተት ነው። ስፖርት የመመለሻ ታሪኮችን ይወዳል፣ ግን በአትሌቲክስ የዶፒንግ ታሪክ ቀላል አይደለም። አንዳንዶች ይቅር ይላሉ፣ አንዳንዶች ደግሞ ፈጽሞውኑ አይረሱም። ይህ ጥያቄ ለብርሃኑ ለዘላለም አብሮት ሊቆይ ይችላል። ነገር ግን ፕራግ 2026 አንድ ነገርን አስመለከተ። ብርሃኑ እንደገና ከዓለም ምርጦች መካከል እንደሆነ አስመሰከረ። ለእርሱ የጠለቀ ብርሃን ዳግም መውጣቷንም ማሳየ። ፕራግ አንድ ነገር እንደገና አረጋገጠ። ኢትዮጵያ አሁንም የዓለም የረጅም ርቀት ሯጮችን የምታፈራ ማህፀነ ለምለም ሀገር መሆኗን፣ ከትራክ ወደ ማራቶን የሚሸጋገሩ ሯጮች በዓለም ላይ ማራቶንን በራሳቸው ግዛት ማስፈር ቻሉ። ብርሃኑ አሁን የዚያ ታሪክ አካል ሆኗል። 26 ዓመቱ ላይ ይገኛል። ይህ አትሌት አሁንም ገና ትልልቅ የሚባሉ ውድድሮች ከፊቱ ይጠብቁታል። ይህን ደረጃ ቀጠል ዋና ዋና ማራቶኖችን ማሸነፍ፣ ስሙን ሙሉ በሙሉ ከተነሳበት አስቀያሚ ጥላሸት ማጽዳት ቀጣይ ኃላፊነቱ ይሆናል። ጊዜ ይህንን ይመልስልናል። ግን በፕራግ ጎዳናዎች ላይ ከብዙ ሺህ ዓመታት ታሪክ መካከል ብርሃኑ አንድ ነገር በግልጽ አሳይቷል። እርሱ ከአትሌቲክስ የጠፋው ሯጭ አይደለም። እርሱ ከጠፋበት ተመልሶ የመጣ አስደናቂ አትሌት ነው። የተወደዳችሁ ተከታታዮች ይህንን ቪዲዮ ላይክ፣ ሼር፣ ኮሜንት በማድረግ ለብዙዎች እንዲጋራ አግዙን። ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰባችን ሁኑ። ሰላም።
So here's the chasing pack in the women's race. It includes Millicent Limo making her debut nearest the camera. Yaragel Mekurior of Ethiopia, she's also making her debut. So two athletes, the shortest athlete in that little group, the female, Mekurior, is just 22, making her debut. She was fourth in the Prague half last year in 69 minutes. She has run 66 for a half marathon. Pacemaker Patrick Weber doing a great job for this little chasing pack. The men at almost 23k, leading women at almost 20k. We're trying to bring you that women's 20k split. I'm not sure we've got one for the leading men. It doesn't matter, we know they're halfway split. You just joined us in the last few minutes. The men going through halfway in 61.44. Super fast, quicker than ever before in Prague. Split screen. I do love the fact that more and more marathons nowadays are using that split screen. It keeps you abreast of the situation in both races. Don't they look strong? Doesn't Boaz look fabulous there? Boaz Kipkorir in that pink vest. Justus Kipkorir Limo looks calm as well on the far side in the blue vest. With the red headband is ANDUALEM SHIFERAW of Ethiopia. It's his first race this year. Last year he came fourth here in Prague. It's his 30th marathon. In fact, it's Berehanu. Excuse me. Berehanu Tsegu of Ethiopia to go with him. He's saying, come on, help me with this. We can do this. Maybe they're looking to destroy the athlete back in third place, Boaz Kipkorir, because Berehanu here has accepted the gesture from Justus Limo to go with him on this surge. try and hold this form. Now they're coming up 28.5k. They're coming up towards 30k. That'll be the next significant indicator in the men's race. And Justus Kipkorir Limo and Berehanu Wendemu Tsegu, this leading pair, could both be heading here for new personal bests if they can hold it together. There's a long way to go. Coming up towards 30k, they've still got about 13 kilometers of hard running to come. Well, he's a fascinating character, is Limo. Made his marathon debut in 2023. In 2024, he made steady progress in Madrid and Lisbon with a 2:12 and a 2:11 clocking. Last year, he ran 2 marathons. He ran 2:11 to begin with, and then his first sub 2:10 with 5th place in Seoul, and then that was in early November. Then in the middle of February this year, smashed through a massive improvement with his 9th marathon to run that 2:04.55 for 4th place in Seville, as the Spanish will pronounce it, but 2:04 in Seville was a huge improvement for him. 4 minutes, 18 seconds improvement for him. This women's lead pack and 3 athletes there. Now, where is Janet Tanui? I think she's going, yes, there she is, just right centre of the screen. She hasn't been able to stay with the tempo of this chasing pack. It was definitely going faster than her over about 10 or 15 minute period. It closed probably 50 or 70 meters on it, but it's maintained its tempo, that little group. And Tanui, right of picture, hasn't been able to go with them. Wow, she has dropped back. She's working very, very hard half an hour ago to go with the then leader, Mulie Haile Maria. Well, she has dropped right out of the scene. And Angela Tanui going through a bad patch and maybe struggling to stay in there. She's in 3rd place at the moment in the women's race as Justus Kipkorir Limo continues to push on. Looks fabulous, hasn't looked under any strain throughout. Boaz Kipkemai in the background, losing ground. He checks his watch in the background in 3rd place. Berehanu hanging onto the coattails, it would seem, of Justus Limo, who seems quite happy to pump out the lead pace himself at the moment. And indeed, I think he's trying to break Berehanu Tsegu at that point, because as we see to the right of the screen, some of the mass participants jogging through and getting a little energy slap from the announcer in the Old Town Square. They are passing through the Old Town Square, goodness me, at about 12.5 kilometers. So the leaders in the men's race are way, way out there, approaching 30k. The women at 26k. Did we get a 25k split for the women? I'm not sure we did. It would be nice to get that. So, Kipkorir Limo trying to break Berehanu Wendemu Tsegu, but he's got to be careful here because he could break himself. What is good to see is both these men still look full of running. They're averaging 2:56 per kilometer. They needed 2:58. There's the 3rd placer, Boaz Kipkemai. What a run he has had this morning so far. If he can hold it together for this next half hour, he's going to run a fantastic time. His personal best is 2:07. That was in Hanover 2 years ago this month. But he could, last month I should say, but in his 7th marathon, Boaz Kipkemai could run a big personal best here this morning. It's going to be tough for him. He's on his own. These two have got company. Always makes such a difference when you've got somebody beside you to race against. Onto the cobblestones now. Over the river yet again very shortly. but they're both full of running. That's the good thing. Neither of them looks to be faltering. And if you get somebody out on their own in front, then there is the temptation for that person out in front, once the race is won, so to speak, to ease back on the throttle and just coast home. But these two, because they're racing and they both look full of running, they're running well, I think there's a really good chance of them holding this tempo through this last 10k and producing something very, very special this morning. Less than 10k to go in the men's race. Still just beautiful in the Czech capital, Prague. Cobble sections galore on this course, but it's quick running, it's good quality cobbles. It's been pounded into flatness by the city traffic over the last century or so. There's the chasing group. At the back of that group is Justus Kipkorir. He's a 2:04 performer, the 30-year-old. That was in Paris, admittedly 5 years ago. And actually, this year he was only 25th in Barcelona back in the middle of March, so only about 6 weeks ago when he ran 2:16. But he might run well faster than that this morning. I don't think a personal best. These two could be heading for personal bests. Are either of them looking like they're tiring? 33 kilometers there in 1:37:35. 1:37:35 at 33k unofficially. Don't take my word for it exactly, but very, very nearly. And let's have a look. 1:37:35 has them on schedule, yeah, for about 2:04:30, give or take a few seconds. 2:04:30. They've slowed a few seconds in the last 3 kilometers, but not much. Now, that's Melissa Limo. She seems to be on her own. And left of pictures, extreme left of picture. I think that is the other debutante. No, maybe that's Wisław Kesha who's got back out of picture. But this is Melissa Limo. She's waited a long time for to make a marathon debut, and I asked her at a meet and greet at the Expo a couple of days ago why she chose Prague when she could have chosen from so many other cities. There is Janet Kichumbi. She's in second place. Janet Ruguru Kichumbi. She's a 2:23 performer. She's grimacing. She's working hard. 1:38 on the clock. She's got a long way to go. The lead women at just about almost at 30 kilometers. She's got well over 12. She's got 12.5 kilometers to go, and she's struggling. That might be good news for Melissa Limo, the debutante. She said, I've chosen Prague. I've had a good look with my agent and my coach at all the options, and I know Prague's a fast race, and that's where I'm going to make my debut. She made a very firm decision, and it's unfolding well for her at the moment, Melissa Limo. Now she is benefiting from Andrew Kipruto-Bano. He's done a great job. He's helped in that nice steady, this leading pair. Berehanu now hitting the front, and maybe for the first time there, a little grimace on the face of Justus Kipkorir Limo. Kipkemai in third, SHIFERAW in fourth, KIPKOECH in fifth. So yes, Boaz Kipkemai in third, SHIFERAW up there as well. ANDUALEM BELAY SHIFERAW. But that 35k split, 1:43:47. They've got about 6k to go. 36k they've just gone past, as you can see in the background there. These two have got to push on this last 6k. They've definitely slowed. And I'm fearing that the course record may be safe here this morning. Berehanu accelerates to get his drink. Although I think that was just a generic drink. I don't think it was, it's just a glass of water, a cup of water he's got there. as he gets a little bit of a lead. They've got 64 seconds on the chasers, this pair. So they're pretty safe, well over a minute in the lead, and barring disaster. But Kipkorir Limo, is he now, for the first time, just beginning to struggle? Have we got a leader, or was it just that drink station that created a bit of separation? One hour 48 minutes on the clock, and Justus Kipkorir Limo, I think, has hit the red line, and maybe that will give a bit of adrenaline surge to Berehanu. Wendemu Tsegu now, who is on his own and strides out more strongly than we've seen him in the last 15 or 20 minutes, and this could be the critical moment in the race. In the men's race, we now have separation from this leading pair at 37 kilometers. That is the distance, 5k to go, and Kipkorir Limo, who has looked so magnificent for the last hour and 48 minutes, has had to ease back on the throttle. He has absolutely hit the red line for him. And Berehanu Wendemu Tsegu, who is a 2:05 performer, that was in Dubai last year, is striding on now, surely, to victory. He's a great half marathon racer, we know that. He's run under 60 minutes several times, but it's only his third marathon. Second in Dubai and seventh in Dubai over the last 2 years, Tsegu. Here is Limo. I did say to you earlier that this is his third marathon in around 6 months, and maybe he's coming to the well just once too often. Although it has been a fabulous run so far, he's put together 1 hour and 49 minutes of superb running, but that stride length is gone, the legs are going, and he's losing ground dramatically fast. With every stride, he's losing ground here on Berehanu. And this may be a day where Ethiopia comes out on top of Kenya. 37.5 kilometers done. Berehanu now has the bit between his teeth, checks his clock, checks his watch. He was busted 4 years ago, between September 2019 and September 23. Served a 4-year ban for doping, did Berehanu, but one can only hope he learnt his lesson. He's come back clean and he's racing here in Prague to what looks to be certain victory now. Back in the women's race.
የዩቲዩብ ተከታታዮች ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰብ መሆን እንዳትዘነጉ። ላይክ እና ሼር በማድረግ ለሌሎች እንዲዳረስም አድርጉ።
In the day, there you are, the crowd becomes its own crowd. The runners become their own crowd, supporting each other as they pass. Look at the cups there on the ground from the drink station. Those normally would get swept up. They should be swept up and out of the way, because it can become quite slippery underfoot when you're running through a sea of cups like that on the ground. But Berehanu there, I think, was at the 40k drink station. He's on a charge now. Checks his watch yet again. He'll be passing the Athletes Hotel any second, if he hasn't done already. Yeah, on his left. The river is just to the left of picture behind the trees. He will be passing the Athletes Hotel any second, the Prague Hilton atrium, which has been a fantastic host hotel for the athletes for many, many years at these big Prague races, the half marathon and the marathon. There is the Vyšehrad medieval castle, but the athletes are passing in both directions, athletes on different time schedules. Well, the ratio between foreign runners and Czechs this year is 54 to 46, so over half the field are foreign runners. That's calculated by the president of Runcheck, Carlo Capalbo. And amongst those foreign runners, of course, are the elite. Ethiopians and Kenyans and Ugandans. But Millicent Limo striding on at 35.5 kilometers. It'd be nice to see the leader in the men's race now, because he is virtually in the home straight. Don't know what's going on there. What sort of time is he on? We haven't seen a 40k split for him. A 40k split for the men would be nice. Well, I don't think she's under threat now. Millicent Limo, she's done everything right. Back to the leader in the men's race. Over 2 hours on the clock. Now, what is he heading for? They were slowing. The last split we got at 35k put them pretty much smack on schedule to hit the course record of 2:05.09. But they were slowing. And I don't know if he's accelerated enough to get back on schedule to break the course record. It's going to be mighty tight, it really is. He's heading back now towards Old Town Square. He's still got the river on his right. He's got a few hundred meters to go yet before he can turn left onto Paris Street. The run-in is going to be absolutely critical. Last week in London, Sebastian Sawe ran the fastest ever closing strip from 40k to the finish line. I think it was under 6 minutes. Well, Berehanu here has got a little over a kilometer to run, and that should take him about 3 minutes. But how much over a kilometer has he got to do? Can he break 2:05 here? Can he break the course record 2:05.09? Can he, in fact, set a personal best? It's 2:05.14, so there's 3 targets for him. 2:05 would be a lovely barrier to punch through. 2:05.09, the course record, would be great. A personal best, 2:05.14. But what does seem to be in the bag, and by far the most important, as he passes the 41k points in 2:02.10, we shall say, is that he's got the win in the bag. It's been a fabulous race from him. Well, it's going to be mighty close, but I think he's probably going to be finishing just outside the course record by a few seconds, not by much. He's got to turn left onto Paris Street, where there is shade, admittedly, but he's running on mighty tired legs here. Athletes on the right, they're trying to hold his speed for just a few meters to experience it. Good luck, madam. Not doing a bad job, but she's got a long, long way to go. She is at, I think, she's at about 12 kilometers. If she's with him there, yeah, she's got 30 kilometers to go. I'd ease back if I were you. What a run it's been, though. From Berehanu, Wendemu in central Prague is about 20 degrees centigrade. It's a little above what would be ideal. And maybe they went out a little too hard. Remember that halfway split was a 61:44. It was perhaps just a little optimistic. They might have been better going out, maybe a minute quicker, a minute slower than that, and saving a little bit more for the second half. But they felt so good, and the running conditions, the temperature was perfect, and they gave it a really good go. And on another day when the temperatures weren't climbing quite like this, maybe a course record was on the cards. He takes that final left-hand turn. Now he's back onto the famous Parigi Street, where the luxury stores that he will be able to afford the products of with the prize money from this will be displayed in their windows. Checks his watch again. He will see that the course record is no longer viable, but a big, big win here in Prague will be for this man. Only 26, and he has survived a very testing third quarter, testing second half of this race really, after going out probably a little too quick for the first half. 61.44 was well under 2:04 tempo, but they have handled it magnificently. He and Justus Kipkorir Limo is back in second place, and now the reward for him in particular is going to be victory. Some people say first is first and second is nowhere. Of course, most people would disagree with that. Yomif Kejelcha, second in London last week, well inside 2 hours, well inside the old world record, but beaten by Sebastian Sawe, said, in his opinion, marathons are a lot easier than half marathons. I'm not sure that this man, Berehanu Wendemu Tsegu, would agree with that now. As he comes towards the closing meters, it's been a magnificent run from him. He's destroyed some of the best runners in the world today in this 31st edition
of the Vodafone Prague Marathon. He salutes the crowd, he salutes the finish line and smashes through the tape there. 2:05.51 unofficially. Wow. What a run. What a run.
የዩቲዩብ ተከታታዮች ሰብስክራይብ በማድረግ ቤተሰብ መሆን እንዳትዘነጉ። ላይክ እና ሼር በማድረግ ለሌሎች እንዲዳረስም አድርጉ።
The biggest win of his career, only his third ever marathon. Second in Dubai last year, seventh in Dubai this year, and a big win for him there. And look at this. Is this the second place, or what's happened to Justus Limo, Kipkorir Limo? Well, this is FELIX KIPKOECH. Is he coming through for second place? He's some way down. He's only just turned left onto Paris Street. And there's aggressive chasing going on behind FELIX KIPKOECH. His personal best 2:07.19. He's going to be just outside that. He was second here last year in his personal best of 2:07.19. And he might well be second here again today, although I think that's ANDUALEM BELAY SHIFERAW closing on him. We have a race here, a tough race over the final few hundred meters for second and third places. SHIFERAW chasing hard. He's got a target in his sights. I wonder if FELIX KIPKOECH knows it. Maybe he's got enough of a gap behind him. Back there in fourth place, top of picture, look, is Justus Kipkorir Limo. He is in survival mode. At best, he's going to finish in fourth. He's a glance over his shoulder. He is desperately trying to close these last few hundred meters. How he has been crushed by the latter stages of this race. And this is FELIX KIPKOECH, second last year, second this year. Quick time to 2:07.45 unofficially. Fabulous running from him. ANDUALEM takes third place. And his time in third place as he comes through the tape, 2:07.58 unofficially. Brilliant running from him. He has run a 2:04, that was 3 years ago in Berlin. And Justus Kipkorir Limo, I think, is going to finish in fourth place. Kipkorir Limo struggling to survive. I know the feeling. You're up at what he says, do this. Your legs say do that. 2:08.33 unofficially. Still a fabulous run considering the intensity of that